how I'm going to do that is have Python regularly download this page, check it for new information. If there is any new information, then just send me a text message. So to start this, I'm going to be using Python. In this case, I'm in Ubuntu, but this should work in Windows and Mac as well. So it should be pretty platform independent. So if I open up a terminal, first I'm going to say touch contests.py. And what this does, this just creates an empty file called contests.py, and we're going to be doing all our work inside of there. I'm going to be using Atom for this, just because it's a free IDE, but really pretty much any IDE should work for this as well. So Atom, contests. To be able to pull down the web page using Python, I'm going to be using a library called requests. So first, make sure you have Python installed. So we're going to go sudo apt-get install Python 3. And we're also going to need Python 3-pip. This just makes it so that we can install Python packages really easily. I already have them installed on my system, but just make sure that they're working on yours. Now to install requests, we're going to say sudo pip 3 install requests. So I already have requests installed as well. So now over in my Python file, I can say import requests. And now to have it download my file, I'm going to say, or my web page, I'm going to say page equals request.get. And then in here, you put the URL of the web page you want. So I'm just going to copy that out of my browser and paste that here. Now to make sure that this actually worked, I'm going to say print page.content. And what this should do is actually print the HTML and JavaScript that's running inside of this web page. So I'll save that file, and in my terminal, I could say python 3 contests.py. And it should run and then barf out a whole bunch of, there's a bunch of JavaScript in here, there's a bunch of HTML. So this is the entire web page, which I'm not gonna try to nitpick all of that inside of a terminal. So what I want to do now is with the web page downloading, I need to be able to pull specific information out of it. The best way to do that is with BeautifulSoup. So sudo pip3 install BeautifulSoup 4. So to use BeautifulSoup, you say, you import from BS4, import with capitals, BeautifulSoup. Now, in the web page, to be able to know specifically what we want to download, we can either go up here, I'm using Chrome. I prefer Chrome for doing these kinds of things. You can probably use other browsers as well though. So inside of Chrome, you can click the ... more tools, developer tools, and then go to elements and start searching through your web page. Or you can right click on whatever area you want and go inspect. And that will bring you to the same spot, but then expand your tree so that you're looking directly at the thing you want. Now, luckily for us, the image that they have for each contest has an alternate tag, and that alternate tag is the text to show if it can't get the picture, but it's also the name of the contest itself. Nowhere else in here does it actually directly have the contest name. It's hidden in the picture, which I guess you could try to pull that text out, but that's definitely not something we're going to do. So what I want to do first is come in here and I want to get current contests. The reason I want current contests instead of just getting images is there are a lot of images on this page, right? Past contest winners, there's logos, there's a bunch of different things. So what I want is to just get this current contest div. And that's where we're gonna start. So over in Atom, I need to bring this into a variable. So soup equals BeautifulSoup. And then in brackets, I want the contents of the web page. So page dot content. And to make sure it knows that this is HTML we're working with, we just say HTML dot parser in quotes. Now out of this, what I want to do is actually pull out that current contests div that the bulk of my stuff is under. So I'm going to say current contest div equals soup dot find all. Now under find all, I need to find, if we go back here, I need to find a div with the ID of current contests. So under here, I can say ID equals, and then in quotes, I can say CUR dash contests. Now this find all will find all instances of that div inside the entire, in this case, page. I know there's only one, but it will still return a list because this function can return multiple things. So in brackets, or square brackets, I need to put a 0 to say the first item in your list, which again is a list of 1. So now that I have this, what I can do, again, just to make sure that I'm on the right track, I can just say print current contest div. Right? This is just some minor debugging as I'm going along to make sure that I'm not missing anything. And yeah, I have more HTML. It is still printing the entire page here. It is giving me an error because I spelled BeautifulSoup right, or BeautifulSoup wrong. There we go. So now I have still HTML in here, but it's definitely a lot less than was there. It's starting here. So these are just the contests, which is where we're going with this. So now what I can do is just say current contests images, because I remember I'm pulling specifically the images out. So I want to find everything under this div. So current contests div dot find all. Now under find all, I want to search for IMG in quotes. And this will find all of the image tags that are in here. And so image, alt, stem contest, source, and then a link to the actual picture for it. So again, as a really quick check, I can go for image in current contest images, print image. So run this again, just to make sure it's working. And now we've got this split down fairly far, right? We just have the image tag, and under alt, there's the string that we actually want. So I can say print img dot get, and then in brackets, I want alt. So that will pull out that specific value out of that tag. And running that, I forgot a bracket. There. So now we can, from a terminal using Python, pull the list of current contests that Instructables has up on their webpage. Part of this is we want to know which contests are new. Yes, we could look at this message and then look at the previous message we got and try to just visually pull out which ones are different. But A, that'll be a lot more text messages than we want. We only want important updates. And B, that's kind of tedious. I don't really want to do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to search, or we're going to save everything into a file. What I'm going to do is just say, above this loop, I'm going to say past contest file equals open. And I'm going to make a variable that's the past contest name, just so it's all only in one spot. I don't have to keep typing it. Past contest file name equals, and I'm just going to call this previous contest.text. So open past contest file name and open it for reading. So make sure that we don't delete our file. Now for line in past contest file. So loop through this file one line at a time. And we're going to make a quick variable up here just to save the past contest that we've talked about. So past contests equals square brackets, which will make a list. And now for each line in this file, I could say past contest dot append, and I want to append the data in this line. Now in these lines you can have extra spaces accidentally, it will include new lines, it will include a bunch of other text that you can't see but might cause you some issues later. So just a quick way to fix that will be line.rstrip, which will remove any blank space from the right side of the string, and .lstrip, which will remove any extra text from the left side of the string as well. And here you don't want to use just strip, because if you do, that will also remove all blank spaces from in the string as well, which we don't want to do. And now that you've opened and gone through this, now you can say past contents file dot close. So this will open up this file here, pull all the lines out and just save them in a list, and then close the file. Now there is the risk that this file doesn't exist yet the first time you run this. So you need to make sure that this file exists before you actually try to open it, or else you're going to get an error. So we can do import OS, and under here we can say if os.path.exists, and we want to search for past contents file, or past contest file name, and if that exists, then we can open it, read it, and close it. So now that we have reading all of our past files, we also want to write this file so that it will remember it each time. If we don't write it, we're going to have an empty file forever. So what we want to do is open up that file again. So out, or past contests file equals open past contest file name. We're going to open it for writing, which will immediately blow away the file and then start adding more text to it. What we want to do is say past contest file dot write, and in this case we want to get this. Now since we're getting this variable multiple times, it's a good thing to actually save it. So we could say contest equals that, And now we can print the contest if we want to. We can also write it. I'm going to say plus, and then in quotes, \n will make a new line. And now that I've printed all the contests out and written them in a file, now I can say pass contest file dot close. If I run this again, right, it still prints out the same things. But if I look, there is also previous contests, and this also has the same information in it. So really what I'm actually looking to do at this point is to compare what's in this file to what it's currently getting off the website, and those differences are important. So an easy way is if contest not in past contests. So if the name of this contest is not in the list of previous contests, then print it out for me. So don't print out old ones, only print out new ones. And again, a quick check of that. If contest. Okay, so everything is there, and now nothing is there. If I go into that file, previous contest, if I delete the coffee one and run this again, it only prints that coffee is the newest challenge that's listed on the website. Okay, so I have it printing out and finding which contests are the newest ones. Now what I want to do is actually have this send me a text message. You could do it through email as well. You could have it just make a sound on your computer, or write a file somewhere and you can kind of check up on it. But there's a lot of different uses that you could use text messages for. Any sort of home automation that might be important, all can be done with text messages. So if you open your browser, you can go to Twilio. Under Twilio, if you just go sign up for a free account. So they give you a little bit of money so you can go through and you can try their API and you can try out their system. For us, the free one is likely going to be more than enough. But if you end up using this for a lot of different things, you can sign up for a full account. I'm using this often enough that I think I might sign up. I have a little link that will get you $10 if you use my link. So I'll put that in the description. Once you sign up, you'll have to go through and do the email verification thing, and you'll also have to register a phone number to verify the number. You can only send text messages to that verified number if you're using the trial account, so make sure it's whatever one you want to actually be receiving notifications on. So this is my dashboard. When you sign up, if you say that you use code, it'll set it up this way so that it's really easy to get started. So first, click Get a Trial Number. I don't really care what my number is, so I'm just going to say choose this number. How Twilio works is it's based on the number of text messages you get, and they give you a small dollar amount that you can use to practice with. So you start out with about $15, and each text is a penny. So in the end, you could send about 1,500 text messages using this. Now, if you're sending one a day, that's about 5 years of text messages for free, which is awesome. Again, great for, feeling this out and seeing how well you think it works. So, some important things: you're going to need your account SID, and you're going to need your authentication token. You're also going to need which number which trial number they've given you. I'm going to copy all of this and put it into a file. I'm going to go mkdir. Since this is some kind of private information, you don't want it super easy to find or get to. So I'm just going to make a hidden folder called .twilio. On Ubuntu, putting a dot in front of anything makes it hidden, so it's not easy to find in like the browser. It is still findable though, it doesn't make it secure or anything. If I go into that folder, now I'm gonna say nano, and I'm gonna make a file just called auth and put this information in. So for me, I am gonna put this information in the order of SID first, then authentication code, then I'm going to put my trial number, and then I'm going to put my phone number in this file. Now, one thing to note when doing, when putting in your phone number, for example, I'm in North America and the North American country code for phones is +1. So you need to make sure to put that in. If you don't put it in, it won't text you because it will deny your request because it's technically not the number you registered with. So just a side note. So now that I have that file, what I want to do is actually be able to read that from my script. I'm gonna make a new file that's just Twilio auth equals open. I'm gonna say tilde slash dot Twilio slash auth. Of course, open that for reading. And then I'm gonna say SID equals Twilio auth, the first line. The authentication code will be the second line. The number, the trial number, is the third line, and then my number is the fourth line. This is a good way to take any sort of sensitive information like authorization codes or any sort of private data and be able to write a script that uses it, but that you can still put on GitHub or something like that. So you're never actually giving your private information out, but you are still able to use all of that private information in that script. So now that I have these four, I need to actually install Twilio so that it works. It's an extra library that you can get for Python. So sudo pip3 install Twilio. So now that Twilio is installed, I want to actually make a connection to Twilio. First thing that I forgot here is Twilio auth.close. You should always close your files after you open them, just to make sure that even if Python doesn't shut down properly, it has released your files properly, and it saves on memory as well. So anyway, client equals client with a capital C, and then I'm going to pass in my SID and my auth code. You also need to, at the top, import from Twilio.rest, because we're using a REST API here, import client. So this should actually be all we need to be able to send text messages from Python. It's actually pretty simple. So just to do a really quick check of this, what I'm going to do is just comment out basically everything else we've done, just to make sure that, I don't really need to be doing it, I guess. And what I'm going to say is client.messages.create. So I'm going to create a new text message. So it's going to be to equals, and I want my underscore number that I read out of that file from with an underscore after it. I'm going to say it is my trial number. The body of this message, I'm just going to say hello world. And really, that should actually be all I need to do. So that will create and send a text message for me. So let's try that out. Just give this a run. So still, oops, I'm in the wrong directory here. Python 3, contests. So there's one mistake right here. You can't address lines in a file directly. So what you have to do is do Twilio underscore file equals open, and then Twilio underscore auth equals Twilio underscore file dot read lines. And that goes through and reads everything into this array or this list. And once you're in this list, you can pull out individual values. So that was my bad. The other thing is for this file, in my case, I'm defining it now as an absolute path instead of the tilde, because using the tilde, that depends on which user is running it. So this forces it to use specifically that file. So that's sending. I should be getting a text message. I did get a text message, but it does say at the top, sent from your Twilio trial account. Keep that in mind. It'll always tell you it's on a trial account unless you pay otherwise. But again, if this is all for personal use, it shouldn't really be a big deal. What I'm gonna do down here now is uncomment all of my things. What I'm gonna do is take my message, put that down underneath this loop, and I'm going to create two new strings. So I'm going to say, or actually just one string. So text underscore message equals just a blank string. If the contest is not in past contests. So if it's a new contest, take that contest name and append it onto the front of this string. So text. So it'll appear at the top of the list. I'm also going to, up here, just add a \n, so each contest shows up as its own line. And now, else, so if it is, a contest, but not a new contest, take the current list and append this contest to the end of it. Now, down here, this is all correct, but the body should be this text message text. Also, as a little note here for myself, I'm going to append new to the front of it. So the ones at the top that say new are the new contests, and the ones that are near the bottom are the old contests. Now before I start sending messages, I know it's just a penny, but I'm just going to say print, and I'm going to print text message. So if I run this, so it prints out everything, which is fine, but in my case, so in this case, if it's printing out, this means it would also be sending a text message. And I don't want that. I only want it to send me things if they're new, right? I don't want it to be spamming me all the time. So I'm gonna just put another quick variable up here, new contest equals false. And if it ever ends up in this loop, it will set new contest to true. And now down here, say if new contest. So if it found a new contest, print what it found in here, and we'll put this into a log later. Otherwise, and send me a text message. Otherwise, print nothing new. So if I run this again, nothing new. I am going to edit this previous contest, and I'll remove just 2 arbitrary contests from the middle. If I run it again, I get the contests. It puts the 2 newest contests up here at the top, marks them with new, and I should get a text message that is the same listing as what is there, saying that there are new contests, which I do get that. So really, this is working exactly the way I want it now. It's pulling from the website, it's finding new things, it's marking those new things, and it's sending me a text message letting me know that those new things are happening. So all of that stuff is awesome. What I need to do now is I want this to run automatically. Ideally, I stick this on a Raspberry Pi or some server hidden away somewhere in my house, and it can check every hour for me. In that case, for checking Instructables contests, that's absolutely overkill. You could check every couple days probably and you'd be fine. But it's 0 effort for me and pretty much no bandwidth and almost no cost. So I might as well run it every hour. So what I'm gonna do is, again, I'm using Linux to do this. Linux makes this super easy. I know you can do this with Windows as well. I'm assuming Mac has something like that. So I'm gonna use cron tab. So cron tab -E is the cron tab for your user. I'm gonna run that. I wanna use nano, so that's just personal preference. If we look up cron tab, so you can see cron tab format, there are lots of different ways to do this. There's lots of different spots that you can look this up. This is just a quick image for while we're here. So the minute, hour, day, or day of the month, which month, or day of the week you want these things to be executed. So I'm gonna say I want it to be executed at 5 minutes after the hour on every hour, every day of every month. And that's it. So that's when I want it to be run. In my case, I want it to be, I want it to go Python 3. And in my case, this Python file is just dumped into my home directory, which is not a great spot for it, but I'll put home, contests.py. So this will run it at the 5th minute of every hour. And because I'm not going to stand here and stare at it, I want to be able to look back if there was any sort of problems or any sort of updates. So what I'm going to do is put these double arrows, and I'm going to make log.txt. I'm also going to put it in the same directory. So what this will do, at 5 after every hour, it'll run Python 3, this Python, the output of it, instead of printing it to the terminal, we'll dump it into this file so that I can look back later. And that's it. So every hour, it will check anything new, it will print it here, and it will also send me a text message so I don't have to check up on these things. I am a millennial, so I'm supposed to be lazy apparently, right?